In just a few weeks, I'm going to Japan with my friends. I figured before I take you guys there, I owe you guys a little context. Because if you guys have been here from the beginning, which I feel like a lot of the subscribers here have, you know this channel has been a whole lot of things. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Get ready for a lot of yapping. I started YouTube back in around 2010, but I didn't actually start making YouTube videos until maybe 2012, 2013. All that you saw on my YouTube was a bunch of horror games. And when I say horror games, I mean like Slender Man. Ah! Oh my god! Oh, what? There was a few other random ones that I used to play. And I actually continued into that, and I really enjoyed making that kind of content for a very long time. See, the thing about back then was I was actually making content solely off of the people that inspired me. And that continued on till today. I really loved two content creators that many people know nowadays. Many of you know PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. They were the big three in my time, especially 2012 to 2014. I was so in love with these guys that a lot of my content was solely based on what they did. And as you could tell, I was replicating a lot. It was a lot to do with the people that surrounded me, the people that I watched. I didn't yet have my own personality or voice just yet. That was until I met Brendan and he introduced me to vlogging. One thing that wasn't like those content creators that I genuinely enjoy doing myself. And then comes 2015. And then something not crazy happened to me, but was a trend for a while, which was FaZe Clan. Now you guys can think about FaZe Clan. Mainly for me, FaZe Jev. I got really heavy into the cut commentary style of things. So if you think about it, it's COD. I'm yelling at my screen and I'm playing games, talking about nonsense. That's essentially what it was. Kind of like regular commentaries, except it was live. During that time, I also ended up joining a clan called Reap, which was made by my friends. Reap Clan was an amazing time, and we ended up making montages. We started recruiting so many different people, and we had such a blast doing it. And which Reap ended up actually becoming the group we now know as Taka. I still got big love for my boys, Chase and RJ, everybody that's out there that was a part of Reap. Kobe, you know who you are, Dane, whoever else. Those times are great. And it was an amazing dream that we thought would become like FaZe or like Optic or any of those other gaming clans. But see, that was just it. It was just a dream. Which leads me to my next thing. Now, this is where we go into the one era I really loved, and it was the AMV era. And the reason why I even really got into it, shout out to my boy Rohan. He showed me SAO, and then it all went downhill from there, and I got super into it. I also want to give shout outs to my boy Josiah, to my boy RJ, and to my two other boys, Chase and Isaiah. I think I mentioned Chase earlier, but Chase and Isaiah also started editing alongside me while we were going through the whole AMV thing, and Josiah and RJ gave me so many recommendations on songs, which anime to edit, vice versa. They were just there through the whole time I was really into AMVs. I even ended up making a group called Aloha, which was like, it was supposed to be Hawaii's AMV group, even though I ended up like recruiting so many people outside of Hawaii. Another group to me, which is like very big for me personally, was Moon, because I met one of my boys, JRB, or Josh, shout out to you, bro. But even throughout that whole time, that whole era of making AMVs, I was still copying people's style. I was making my own type of AMVs, but majority of it was inspired by so many people like Crisis and Alex and so many other people that I know from back then. Again, I was still replicating other people's creative endeavors. I still wasn't my own. Then around 2018, 2019, I was still on and off YouTube. I kind of stopped doing a whole lot of AMV stuff, and I started actually getting into this group called Misfits. And once I got into them, just like all the other creators before that I was talking about, I went straight for their style. Comedy videos, subtitles, jokes, random moments, you name it. The way Fitz did it, minus the 3D stuff that he did, I pretty much replicated that. I was essentially doing whatever felt right to me at the time, whether it was streaming, whether it was vlogging. During that weird period while I was working, I just did anything that I felt like I wanted to do. Then when 2020 hit, I already mentioned 2020 earlier, but once 2020 hit around the tail end, I ended up going back to school, and I was going in for TV production, which I just recently finally got my degree for. What the hell, man? that is when I really fell into the craft of filmmaking and I really fell in love with it. That's where I learned producing, directing, editing, ADing, PAing, the whole scale, logistics, the craft of it. A lot to do with the technicalities of film that led me into a spiral of looking for work in the film industry. And that's where I ended up landing in the VFX department. And I was interning for Lilo and Stitch. If you guys want to hear about that, like this video, and maybe I'll make a video about that. Talk about my experience, who knows? Like the video. Anyways, that happened, and I just started working on countless film challenges, and anyways, I started working on a bunch of different film challenges. I made my own films. My boy Brendan was making films, and we were just constantly going, which you guys could see on a channel that I have called Chronics Productions. And there's also another channel, LONGODDS, where we have 2 films that Brendan directed. Essentially, I dived straight into film and I was in love with it, and I'm still in love with it to this day. The very last thing that I did for film actually was join a HIF's program called Curtyy, which was Hawaii International Festival's online critiquing critics immersive, which I was learning to be a critic. So if you guys want to see my critiques on the film festival, we watched 3 films and I made 3 different videos that was kind of critiquing the film. They're unlisted on my channel right now only because I don't think I have the chops to really be a critique. I don't think I am in that position just yet. I feel like I need more experience before I can genuinely be a critic for film. So those videos will live quietly where they are right now, which is on HIF's website. So if you want to see those, go check out HIF's website, and it should be on the bottom, and it should be under like reviews and stuff. You'll see my name there. Now, before I get to the end of the video, I just wanted to make a big shout out to one person, and kind of the reason why I'm making this video and putting myself accountable. I want to shout out you, Brendan, because that guy has been my partner since 2013, since the start I started making like real YouTube videos. He's been there. We've been side by side doing content through the thick of it all, and he's mainly the reason why I'm really making this video and leaving myself accountable, especially for what's going to happen in the Japan trip, because I really want to make these videos and I want them to be out and I want to keep creating. One thing I forgot to mention is that we were doing the podcast, the Chronics podcast, the channel is now known as LONGODDS, so that'll be in the description below as well. But we were doing Chronics podcast for maybe from 2022 to maybe 2025, 2024, and we were doing that for a very long time, and it's kind of the reason why he gained that ability to be able to edit, to be able to keep going. And that's the one thing that I lost, because I keep losing motivation to edit, and that's the main reason why I'm going to segue into this last topic. Alright guys, here's the thing.
It's fantastic.
I have like about 4 videos in the back burner. I have one where I did Unchained together that I can't find the files for, but I still have the project file, but I can't find the video files for, so that's kind of gone. I also have made a peak video, the climbing game, that I'm still trying to finish. I even have a few videos on my Instagram that I'm supposed to be uploading of my like meta content, but it's just complete lack of motivation. And I had such a great time making all of those, but I just can't get myself to finish them. I think somewhere along the way, I started putting pressure so much into the process of creating this, making sure that everything is perfect, that I just lost the motivation to keep continuing. And many of my close friends know this about me. We'll create content together and I'll be recording stuff and I'll be editing for like a day or 2 days, and then I just stop altogether because there's something else that comes up, or there's something in my life that I get busy with, or yada yada yada. There's always something that ends up happening, and I just completely stop the edit. So going forward, and I mean this, hopefully, I want to simplify. I'm not going to be thinking so hard on the edit. I'm not going to be thinking, oh, I got to make it. I'm going to be making it 10 minutes minimum, and I'm going to have to be putting this and that, and it has to be this quality, and it has to be that, or whatever. No, blah, 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 whatever. No, I'm not going to be doing that no more. I'm just going to edit in the way that I enjoy editing and get it out. And I know in this day and age, it's easy to get enveloped in the whole making everything perfect, because there's so much different content creators out there now that it's getting so oversaturated and you feel like you're just not enough. And I know I'm saying this, and whoever's watching is like, who is this guy? We don't really care. But I'm saying this because I want to leave myself accountable, so that I have somewhere that I put it, so that I know that I said it, so that it keeps motivating me to just keep going. Because videos that are not coming out is not helping nobody, especially not me. And all, guys, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I love gaming, I love content creating, I love film, and I'm never going to stop doing it. I'm done waiting until I have everything perfectly figured out to hit the upload button. So here's what's coming, y'all. In literally a month from now, I'll be going to Japan with a bunch of my friends, and we're gonna have the greatest time. And I'm bringing all of you with me.